caller will be able to say he's taken a lead in Georgia, but it's close.
And Bush?
Number one is the economy.
How many?
29.
We have 5 minutes to an update.
25, family values.
25.
Cook. All right.
We're going to keep going.
Little less.
We have 3 minutes to this live update.
They've gotten 45 calls in, second calls, everybody's called in. They don't have, I don't think they've got errors or bad precincts that they want to throw out, so I think
Okay. You want to share your surprise one? In Indiana, if you asked them who is more qualified to be president among the vice presidential candidates?
My man Stockdale didn't do too well.
Where was the incidentally?
Let's get our, I don't work with people with tailor-made shirts. Huh? Tailor-made suit, maybe, but tailor-made shirt? Come on, Terry. Please. We're going to have that through the evening, are we, this little squeak?
No, we're fixing it right now, as a matter of fact.
She's under the hood right now.
I don't know why Shepherd gets all the good help.
Well,
You know,
Aaron 10. Quiet, please.
Dan Rather at CBS News Election Headquarters in New York. Headlines as of 6 p.m. in the East. Possible
5 or 6 issues
Yeah.
spread across his vote pattern.
Yeah.
No one knew why to vote for him.
The deficit, which only how many people cared about in '88?
14%.
More later on this CBS station.
We missed you last night.
Okay, folks. Let's rack them up and break them. Huh?
Aaron 10.
Based on these points, past Jefferson's experience.
Campaign 92. The candidates have had their say. Now you have the last word. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, Dan Rather reporting tonight from CBS News Election Headquarters in New York. The most important thing I have to say to you is if you have not voted...
Taking another internal on page 17 won't affect your roll.
It's jumping big time.
And intensified voter interest in the campaign may be translating into higher than usual turnout at the polls. Mark Phillips reports now on how the turnout is turning out.
I'm a volunteer calling on behalf of...
Okay, that, next is 21. 21, 22.
The whole world is waiting to find out who will be elected President of the United States, and for good reasons. Tonight we asked CBS News correspondents overseas to give us a look at the U.S. election through other nations' eyes. First, James Hattori in Tokyo.
Thank you, Mr. Man. We think we're television intensive. Everything is.
Bush is the last politician of the Cold War.
Steve is going with that.
What do we do?
Yes, Bob, I'm ready.
Steve, put in your vice president's hat. Chance of Kentucky coming in before 7 o'clock.
Your taste is easy to recognize.
Roll up on 34 track.
President Bush and Vice President Quayle are looking to Florida sunshine for their first rays of hope tonight. Florida is a must-win state.
Your topic again for me. Actually, you did what I checked out.
After voting, he went shopping for a hunting license and fishing gear.
Polls are just now closing in Florida, a very important state. We'll tell you what's happening there and elsewhere on this CBS station. Dan Rather for the CBS Evening News. See you again in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, we're clear, thank you. That worked.
Who will he bring with him is potentially duplicative of something that Mike Wallace is doing, and I need to get the Wallace people on the phone here to see how duplicative, because it's only a figment of my imagination so far what they're planning on having him do.
Okay, folks, good show here. Everybody looking straight at your cameras.
The ankles moved out ahead. The reasons why people voted were for change and for plan.
5 seconds to air.
We can.
Everybody looking at their cameras. Belly marks. Here we go.
Headlines of the hour. Clinton has 20 electoral votes, we estimate. Bush none, Perot none. Clinton is off to a start, rolling like a big wheel through a Georgia cotton field. Clinton has won 2 states, we estimate, and one of them is Georgia, with 13 electoral votes. This is potentially big news for the Democrats. Early, they get a crack in what was previously the solid South for the Republicans. Clinton, 20 electoral votes, 270 needed to win. Bush has none, and Perot has zip.
Campaign 92, Election Night, with Dan Rather, Ed Bradley, Connie Chung, Mike Wallace, Bob Schieffer, and Charles Kuralt. From CBS News Election Headquarters in New York, here is Dan Rather.
Hello, and welcome to what we hope you'll find to be the clearest, most complete, and up-to-the-minute election night analysis anywhere on your dial.
Lights or sound lights, but for Kuralt in a package down there.
Terry, we're going to have to mix it up on the desk there.
Ed Bradley on the presidential desk. Why is Ohio so tight? Generally, Ohio is a state that shades the Republicans in presidential races.
Because more than most states has a huge percentage of independent voters. Almost half of the voters in Ohio are registered as independents.
Next is Ron Brown in Washington.
The battleground will be in the 44%. You're saying Clinton is doing 6 points better than Dukakis did in 1988. That's the same picture that we saw in Georgia.
Take 6.
Thanks, Ed Bradley on the presidential desk. Waiting for the results.
41, or you need Rem 1? You want Rem 1?
Now, joining us now is Ron Brown, the chairman of the Democratic National Committee.
What's next?
Bob Schieffer is next.
Bob Schieffer.
He has some.
Bob Schieffer, why are so many incumbents in trouble in the Senate? It's obvious that in a lot of these races, Hanford in North Carolina.
Dumping 34 graphic for Schieffer.
George Bush has 12, having carried Indiana. Connie Chung is covering the 12 gubernatorial races this year. Connie, any results so far in those governor's races?
Yes, we do.
Where are they?
In Vermont, Democratic Governor Howard Dean is the incumbent.
Let's go through Indiana.
Also,
Hit the Vermont.
Mike Wallace, you've been watching, listening, making a few phone calls. What are you tracking over there?
Dan, this desk is going to leave the vote counting and the punditry to you and Connie and Bob and my colleague Ed Bradley.
One camera in between. Ready, camera 1.
Ready, 9. Kuralt's Mike next.
270 electoral votes needed to win. CBS News Sunday morning correspondent Charles Kuralt. You've been,
and let's use the electoral transformer to get there.
Slowly close.
There's some others, but that you still find important.
Well, this night is very exciting, as you said, Dan. And the glow for the president-elect is going to last about a day.
Actually rolling in King HD3 with an undercut of camera 8. 8, you'll have the bumper. You'll zoom out and pan left, okay, 8?
The polls have closed in Kentucky, Florida, South Carolina, and Virginia, but in all of those races, as of this moment, it's too close to call. Our CBS News coverage of Campaign 92 will continue in a moment.
Drift out, bud. Music is off to X. Stand by to hit the transformer. Hit the transformer.
Last lifeline to re-election or something like that.
The Perot thing is the most important by far. The Perot is cutting into Bush's support in that state.
Weren't we just about to call Texas for Bush?
No, it was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
I have a thing or two to say about that.
That'd be good.
Okay, we'll stay in close radio contact. Thank you, Don.
You comfortable?
Very comfortable. Thanks.
Fowler's leading.
Fowler is leading.
Right, but it's too early to know about the
Good,
Oregon race.
good.
Let me find out whether we
1 minute back, 1 minute.
Has anybody called any state that we haven't called?
No, everybody's getting the same stuff.
No, same thing.
Hello, Ed. Good to see you. How's Billy?
Hello.
Top of the hour.
Hi, Henry. How are you?
What are your fans?
Nice to see you. It's great to see you.
Good things about you even when you are not listening in.
Really? Is that the truth?
Isn't that right, Larry?
Always. 10 seconds. Stand by there. 5 seconds. 4. Here we go. Quiet down.
In any number of these states, the race for president, who's going to get the electoral votes, is as exciting as a fire at a circus. Let me show you 3 of them. First up, Ohio. This is a state where the polls closed a long time ago. The electoral votes needed to win.
Ready, camera 5. Take camera 5.
Looks like it's going to be the top of the hour when we get some returns from California, Washington, and Oregon before we're going to know who the next president is. Let's go to Charlie Carroll.
Take 9.
Very patient. Question arises, do we ask too much?
9 slowly zoom in.
Dan, we have been out and around naturally tonight asking voters what they'd like to say to the next president. These folks were in Los Angeles.
Roll, track, take.
Get our jobs back.
10 seconds. After you do right by people. Ready, camera.
Get ready for your Little Rock, too, if Little Rock erupts.
Turn the economy around. Follow your heart. Do right by the people.
Dan, you will notice that all those voters are expecting a lot.
Our boys don't show it yet. Do we have Clinton, Ohio?
No.
Fine.
Yes.
Clinton, Ohio.
Yes, you got it.
Top.
There is a wide gap in this country between what we
Very sorry. Forgive me for interrupting. Ohio falls for Bill Clinton. According to our CBS News estimate,
That's it. Stand by.
Do it.
X is good.
we will
Stand by.
have
Jack is over the top.
President of the United States.
Wide shots in Little Rock, please.
Resolve to 41. Resolve to 41. Natural sound from 41A.
That's with Ohio.
Watch it. I don't think they know it.
Live pictures from Little Rock, Arkansas,
They don't
where
know
the word will spread faster than gossip in a small town that Ohio has dropped for Clinton. Bill Clinton will be the new president of the United States. Al Gore will be the new vice president of the United States. We estimate, look at the map now, everything in blue belongs to Bill Clinton. 286 electoral college votes at a rot-gut minimum. George Bush has 64 electoral votes so far. Still a long way to go. Florida and Texas among the many states still out, and there's 10 or 12 minutes before the polls close in Washington, Oregon, and California, among others.
6, you'll have the
Charlie, I'm very sorry to
Ready, camera 5. Take 5. Ready, camera 9.
The Ohio call and putting Clinton over the top, there was something we needed to do so. We'll be right back. Clinton, go or win, there will be a new president of the United States. Dan Rather, CBS. We'll be right back. Stay here with us.
Music dissolve to X. Stand by to hit X. Can you go to the other one on my cue?
We're sorry. Tell Charlie how sorry we really are sorry.
As fast as you can. We're real tight. Roll.
Okay, let's talk about what we do coming out of the break.
We're going to have almost no time. Terry, coming out of the break.
Hold on. Might have been right on the nose. Could have been on the nose. Maybe right on the nose.
What's Abrams and D'Amato show, please?
So far, you've had 3 women elected to the Senate tonight.
Linda DeVos.
Plus,
Forced out. 50.
Here again is Dan Rather.
I'd like to thank Mike Wallace, Ed Bradley, Connie Chung, Bob Schieffer, Charles Carrault, Joe Klein, Kevin Phillips, Richard Threlkell, Susan Spencer, Bill Lagatuda. The list of those who've made this election night something very special goes on. And for you, the audience, thank you for your time, your attention, for tuning to CBS. I'd like to leave you with the words of that popular secular patriotic hymn, "Long may our land be bright, with freedom's holy light." Dan Rather for CBS News. Good night, everybody.
Music up.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Roll 1B. Track take.
This is CBS.